Hello, welcome back. It is the 3rd of January 2026 and it is a cold one in Essex today. I think it went down to about -3 last night, and we are back in the front bedroom and we are going to be sticking some plasterboard to the bay window reveals. So as you know, yesterday this is where we left off. That one's just resting there, that one's just resting there. I have got some expanding foam, Pseudobond. Says that it's for plasterboard and various other things. The actual foam gun, I've never used one of these before, so a little bit nervous. Got myself an old bucket, going to put a carrier bag in there so that I can practice around and make sure I get it all okay. We are going to fill some of the gaps down the side of the wood that you remember. I'm going to set up these two speed horses, put a sheet of plasterboard upside down on top of them, so then I can put the foam on these sheets horizontal before we push them up against the wall. What I'm also going to do, based upon some of the reviews that I saw online, is that because this stuff just keeps expanding, you can get the wall nice and plumb, or the plasterboard nice and plumb, but it keeps trying to push it out. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to look to see whether I can get some fixings into this as well, which will just hold it in place while the foam goes off. But yeah, let's get set up and go from there. Right, so this is everything that you get in the box. You get the foam gun, 2 extendable tubes, so there is a barbed fitting on the end of that. They just push on the end, and you can even use these as well if you want to use these as well, if you want to get really fine point. It tells you to turn it fully off first, so clockwise. You'll feel that nothing will happen when you pull the trigger. And then what it says is you just take this off, keep this upright, and put the foam gun on. So I'll organise this and see how we get on. So just like that. Not sure if you heard, but there was a little hiss. Looks like it's all okay, and I'll turn this around here. You can see the bucket. I've just put a carrier bag in, so then if we come over here, let's undo this nozzle half a turn. Oh, nice and controlled. Brilliant. And then obviously you can turn this nozzle anti-clockwise and open it up massively, but I think for the moment keeping this quite nice and slow and controlled is going to be exactly what we want. And I'm going to start by filling around the wood where you saw the big gaps yesterday. So as you can see, just in that void, small amount of foam, seal up any of the gaps, a little bit in now. I've also put 2 7mm wall plugs in, and I've marked on the other side of the cut plasterboard where the wood is, so that will give us a really nice fixing just to pull it in and hold it in place, both the vertical there and the horizontal. And then as you can see up here, there's a few bits of wood that have been used over the years, so we'll screw into that as well, and hopefully it should hold it into position. But yeah, let's put some foam on this board. So this is my foam. Do a perimeter bead and then zigzaggy bits, which is what I've seen people do online. Probably put too much or too little, is what it is. Now it's time for me to pick that up, put it into position, put some fixings in it, and then I will show you how it looks. This is what it looks like fitted. So we have put these temporary fixings in here. We won't need these once the foam is cured. 1 up there, 2 down there in the wood that I showed you before. And then we're looking for a 45mm reveal, so I've just used a couple of space plugs at the top so that it doesn't suck in or push out. Filled a few of the gaps with a little bit more foam, so you can see I did that bead there. Good contact the rest of the way up. Filled in a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Didn't want to get carried away because I've seen videos of this stuff just absolutely falling out, and then it's going to cover the nice new window. So I'd rather do it in stages and then come back to that one. Yeah, filled in all of the gaps here. You can see it down the side. Now I need to get this board. I just tucked it around the side. I need to mark on it where the wood is. A couple of fixings there. You can see up the top here, there's a little batten there, so I'll be able to put a screw in there. And then yeah, get the second one done. Right, and that's the other side done as well. So if you remember, this whole bit was completely gone back to brick. Put it on, put a couple of fixings in it, a couple of fixings down there. Used our space plugs again to get our 45mm reveal. It may spring back a little bit once it's dry, but I feel like I've done what I can do. Fill in some of the gaps with some foam, which will just help reinforce it. This one was so much worse than the other one. And when we look down the side, you can see how bad it was. So filled it up with foam, that will hold it. I'm sure there's a builder somewhere that will tell me that this is a terrible way of doing it, but it's going to work for us. It's going to look so much better than what it did. We'll take out the temporary fixings once it's dry, because this stuff, you will end up snapping the plasterboard before you end up breaking the foam off of the wall. So it's more than strong enough. And yeah, I think that's a really good bit of progress today. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.